Okay, and welcome. I'm going to leave you to introduce yourself because I can't pronounce your name properly for some reason. So hello and welcome, and introduce yourself, please.
Thank you. I am Hadassah, Nations, full stop.
Excellent.
And people will call me Das for short, and that's okay.
Okay, Das. You signed up to my mentorship program, and I don't remember you going through my tricks and traps.
I actually did. Twice I went through the tricks and traps.
Wow.
I didn't ask a lot of questions because this knowledge was so much that I just had to marinate in it and absorb it. I didn't even know the right questions to ask because I didn't even start any processes. My main reason for even going into this was having to do with my student loan debt. So we can get into that a little bit later. But I needed something to get that monkey off my back because it was quite a bit. And it just kept accumulating just because of the interest rates. So it got up to be about $240,000 or something like that. And I was receiving threats that they were going to garnish my wages and all of that. And I couldn't handle that type of stressor. So I had to get it off my back. When I was in the course, I learned a lot of wonderful things. And so for the smaller credit companies, I was applying it to that, but I was frightened to apply it to this big, student loan debt. And I was also waiting for them to send me a letter. They kept emailing me. I didn't want to respond to them via email. So I finally received a letter from them. And once I received that letter, that's when I started taking my baby steps. And I just say, what do I have to lose? And I took a leap of faith and wrote a letter.
And what happened after that letter?
After that letter, it went into collections, which I've never heard of a student loan going into collections. So going into collections, it was even easier to deal with, but it went into collections immediately. I only wrote one letter. Then it went into collections. And after the collections, I wrote 2 letters after that, and I haven't received anything else. So I believe I've written my last letter. Well, I have written my last letter because my credit report, I checked it this year. And what I noticed is that on the Credit Karma, my credit report, it was dated October 2019, that everything was wiped out. All my debt was zeroed out.
Excellent. Now, let's get this right. You, of course, don't have any debt.
Correct.
That's why it zeroed itself. But they convinced you it's your debt. What a foul trick to play on a student. And I have loads of people coming to me because saying, I got student loans like 280, 300,000 pounds. And I'm thinking to myself, what, dollars? I'm thinking to myself, these guys obviously must be geniuses by now. $300,000 of, student loans. That's just staggering. Only to find that the people wasn't even working in the industry of their student loans, of what they graduated in. I just found it staggering that you can develop that type of burden after you graduate from an education system. You actually were sold into debt slavery by getting you to believe you're being educated yourself. Because if you don't know, if the general public don't know how to deal with fraudulent contracts, they're going to walk themselves into being a debt slave. Yeah.
Yes.
So, I congratulate you, and I'm so sorry I don't remember you on the Tricks and Traps course. I think at that time I was teaching over 100 people week on week, so you may not have got your, voice in, as it were.
Not at all. I didn't. Yeah.
The other thing that, when I spoke to you last time, is that you went on a journey of yourself about you being a therapist, a student counselor, as well as healing your own body through your nutrition, your knowledge of nutrition, and so on and so forth. Can you share that with us, please?
Yes, what started my journey is because I was always tired. I had these symptoms of chronic fatigue. I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression. But I'm like, if I didn't have these anxiety and depression when I was in high school, how come it suddenly flared up? So I started going to these alternative medicine doctors, and they informed me about leaky gut. They informed me about heavy metals. So I had all the fillings taken out of my mouth, the silver mercury, and because that was causing me to have interesting symptoms in my brain, I would hear noises and it would freak me out. So I actually got anxiety because there was something in my body that I couldn't get away from. And I said, I can't live like this anymore. I wanted to unzip my skin and step out. So if I wanted to do that, it's like, okay, whatever money I have, whatever dollars I have, it doesn't matter how poor I am right now. I'm going to take it all and spend it and move it toward that. Well, what happened is I ended up healing myself and feeling fantastic. And because of that, I developed a lot of tools to where I'm able to help other people on the path. Because it's when you feel like you're trapped in your body and you have these panic attacks that come. Even by walking into a restaurant, I would have panic attacks, so I would have to leave. So then it's like, okay, I'm living this life and I'm going to isolate myself in this home. And I'm like, no, that's not the life I want to live. I'd rather not be in this earth suit. I'd rather go to the next dimension already. So that's how serious it was for me. And what I noticed for me is I kind of have to be forced into doing something. So even with the right diet, if I get off my diet and stop eating, healthy and start eating foods that cause my system inflammation, cause leaky gut again, I'll have the same symptoms, and it forces me to get back on the right path. So I kind of have to be guided and pushed into situations. And, it builds character. So it's okay to go through these things, to have it polish us.
Oh, that's really fantastic. I have a private doctor myself, and what she does, they're known as functional doctors.
Yes, functional medicine.
And she deals with the stomach itself, and she's quite remarkable in what she does. But I won't speak too much about myself, but only to find what I wanted to say really to the general public and to you is that once people realize that the conventional doctors don't need to be there, and the functional doctors can fix most of the things in your life, people find it difficult to see that because they're so used to the pharmaceutical fund, and pharmaceutical means maker of poisons and potions.
Yes.
And still, even if you explain it to them, they do not want to give it up. So that's their problem, and I congratulate you on your so-called debts. I congratulate you on your health. And of course, you have a fantastic profession as well.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I work at the community college where I get to advise students on their pathway to help them reach whatever it is that they came to this planet to do. So that's what I like to do, is helping people to reach their ultimate goal, a peak performance, so to speak. So academically, this is what I do. And actually, I was one of the fortunate ones where my master's degree worked out for me in that way. I'm working in the field, but I didn't intend that initially. I went to school in order to get out of the bondage that I was in spiritually and, to learn about what life was all about. So my degrees that I studied, religious studies bachelor's degree, so I can get out of the dogma. I had to learn about it and what that was about. And then my master's degree was in education and counseling. And what that has to do, I call it my emotional boot camp, to where I learn about the philosophies and are able to apply it to my own life. And so what I did with that, I have that for my foundation, my foundational income. And then on the side, I have my private practice, which is helping people to heal. And I call it like my ministry of health, my shamanistic work.
That's fantastic. May I ask you, I know you're not supposed to ask a lady what her age is, but can you give us an idea of what your age is?
I'm 53.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing it, and you can see her, you can see me. And she is saying to me that she is only 1 year younger than I am. And she looks like that, and I look like this. That the manifestations of what you are, what you say, works for you, and what works for you works for the whole general public, but they have to make that journey. Simple as that. Would you not agree?
Yes, you have to take the initiative, and this is the time, this is the period I feel that we've been waiting for. And what I mean by that is that we get to step in and have our own power. So our own power where it comes to medicine, our own power when it comes to personal power, our own power when it comes to spirituality and turning within. And that turning within is like, you don't need a dogma, you don't need a God outside of yourself. Stop looking outward, but focus inward, and that's where you'll be empowered.
Excellent. I mean, I'm flabbergasted. Yeah. When I asked the mentees that were on the program, because they don't share any information with me, you know, they only bring their challenges to me. So when I asked them, well, look, guys, you know, what is it that you guys are doing? You don't seem to be able to do anything on my mentorship program, and I'm really getting annoyed with you folks. Tell me, what is it that you have done? You have been taught all of these things. You sitting on it, you put it, making a library out of it, and then they start to speak. Oh, Mark, I did this. Oh, Mark, I did that. Oh, I got rid of this mark. I won this case. You know, I've got my money back. I've got my... List goes on, and I didn't even know they were doing this, you know. So I'm so pleased for you, the fact that you got your health back, something that I did myself in 2008, which I had to do for myself. And I'm so happy that people don't need to be in bondage with money, because what you earn and what you make, that's like, if I give you this as a representation of 1 year's work that you have done successfully, that piece of paper, unfortunately, other people are trying to hack into. Yeah, so the taxation does that, then the state does that, then the unnecessary tax on the food supply does that, and then the rent does that, and then somebody else comes along like student loans and, you know, tears it up even more. And then your people are left with this, when they should be having all of this. And I congratulate you on having all of that. That's fantastic.
Yes, thank you. And you have to get that monkey off your back financially so you can move forward in life and do what you need to do. But financially, when you're stuck like that, it needs to be removed so you can spend your money on self-improvement.
Excellent. What's in the future for you? Because I'm teaching you guys how to make money. I'm teaching you guys how to engage in global commerce, because you're going to have cryptocurrency whether you like it or not. You're going to have a bank in your own name, and that bank will control your banking for you because you're controlling it. Okay, you're in control of your own bank, and you will be putting the monies in, and you'll be able to trade in any part of the world using those peer-to-peer transactions. China and all of these countries that are coming online are looking for people like you to be able to spread their goods and services all over the world. Now, do you have any ambitions as to what you're going to do in the future to make yourself wealthy, to make yourself rich, and so on and so forth?
I'm looking forward to moving forward with sharing my story, and actually, instead of being the shaman to individual people, I want to teach them how to do it themselves. Because the practice is actually, since I know how to do it now for myself, it seems, for me, it's very easy. And to pass that information on, so more of a global training for people to heal themselves. And that's something that I would like to do. But first, it's like, you got to remove the debt, get the monkey off your back, so you can have all of that money to invest in yourself and to do what it is, whatever your passion is, whatever you came here to do. It was a long journey to get here, to this life, to this planet, you know, and you're finally here. You got to make it work.
Excellent. Well, look, on that note, I can't say it any better. I really, really congratulate you folks doing that, and I congratulate you. So, I mean, I feel really good that somebody's used these things and qualified these things, because it took me like 10 years to put it together. First-hand knowledge, no theory. If it don't work, I don't teach it, and I don't teach theory, only first-hand knowledge. And you put it to practice, and you've done it all. So, look, if people want to contact you, how would they contact you? Can I put your email on this talk, this interview?
Yes, you can zendasah@gmail.com, ZENDASSAH @gmail. And also, I do have a website, my freedom website. It's called Egyptian Hippie.
Egyptian Hippie, wow.
EgyptianHippie.com.
Okay, I will.
So yeah, coming into sovereignty. Egyptian Hippie is my sovereignty.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. I will certainly paste that onto this interview, and you know, really, really well done. Yeah, I'm flabbergasted how far you guys have got